Before we get into this week's show, I want to give you 3 challenges for the month of May. These are not sponsors, but just friends that we support, so helping them helps us. First challenge is to go to thewhiskeypeople.com for all your whiskey education needs. No matter if you want to be a server at a restaurant that knows what they're talking about, a bartender extraordinaire, start your own distillery, or just a whiskey snob that needs to know more, please check this place out. Second challenge for the month of May is to go watch Penny Palabras on Amazon Prime. You don't need to be an Amazon Prime member to watch Penny Palabras, so please go watch it, then come back and post in the comments what you think. Our third and final challenge for the month of May is to go try Old Pulteney 12 and let us know what you think. If you are in Western Washington, it is available at Louis G's in Fife, Washington. Go take a few sips, then post in the comments what you think. Now on with the show. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Nerds Drink Whiskey. Today we are reviewing Old Pulteney. This is a 12-year-old, and funny thing, last time we reviewed Old Pulteney, we had this gentleman on the show, Tracy from the Whiskey People, and but we also have Ken Carlson from last week, who is also, if you go to Amazon Prime, search for Penny Palabras or Dead Drift. Man, I suck. Dead Drift, they're both on there. I think you were telling me earlier that Dead Drift, Penny Palabras is kind of a cross between Harry Potter and
The Hunger Games?
The Hunger Games?
Yeah, it sounds about right. It's kind of a dark coming-of-age story about a young girl who gets involved in magic, so it's kind of Harry Potter meets Hunger Games.
Yeah, and but a female Harry Potter.
Yeah, totally.
And so this show thoroughly supports female heroes and female leaders in our nerd culture. We're totally welcoming and love that. Mix it up, keep it interesting. Dead Drift is kind of a more of a sci-fi kind of thing.
Absolutely, science fiction comedy.
Yeah, science fiction. So look for those on Amazon Prime, and they can even watch it if they don't have Prime. Correct?
Yeah, you can watch it, which is basic Amazon account. It's just ad supported, so you have to watch ads.
Yeah. So, all right, cool. And of course, Gabe, as always. But we're going to, before we sample this, Tracy, being somebody who kind of leads up a whiskey education class through the Whiskey People, he knows kind of more of the backstory than we usually get into. So we're going to take advantage of him being here, and he's going to fill us in on what we should know about this elixir before we partake.
Well, they can read the label, but it's more fun to listen, right?
Yeah.
And so one of the things I always point out is that Old Pulteney, for many, many years, up until maybe 30 years ago, didn't even have a dirt road to the town. Also, all the components for this whiskey were brought in overseas. And so not only is the barrel of whiskey stored near the ocean, but it's also all the components had to go through a voyage, and so you're going to capture that salty caramel flavor in almost any variation of Old Pulteney. And one of the things I look forward to with the 12-year Old Pulteney is that you've got a delightful fruit profile that's light, delicate, but yet finishes with a bit of that zeal.
Okay. I think one of these times we're gonna have to have you on the show strictly to lead us and direct us into maybe kind of do a dummy class on notes, because even doing the show for several years, I gotta say I've never really experienced the notes. So I think we might have to have you on just for maybe an education on how to detect notes and what those notes mean. So,
there's different tasting methods, but we can go into that. I think it's very important to use words that you know, and that way if you say tangerine, for God's sake, I hope you had one before you used the word.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I want to make sure that you use words that make sense. One of the things about snobs in whiskey, which is not a group, is, I've seen the expression stone fruit. You know what stone fruit is? Most people don't. It's anything that has a big seed in it. So tell me the difference between an apricot and a prune and a plum. I mean, stone fruit tells you jack do, right? And so you gotta use words that mean something. I say apple, I say pear, I say caramel salt. Everybody's on board. They get it.
I always say snozberry.
Snosberry, yeah.
Yeah,
sure.
Because everybody knows what a snozberry tastes like.
Snosberries taste like snosberries.
Right. So, all right. So I think it's time that we partake. So, Dark Helmet, do your thing.
Ludicrous speed!
This is about the batch on this one. You'll notice that this particular batch has a little bit of the lighter fluid to it.
Yeah.
Okay? And when you run a distillation, you've got the middle of the cut. That's the quality element of the cut. Sometimes, for the sake of volume, they let a little more of the nose and a little more of the tail in. And that's probably what happened here in this one. Okay? So they've been using the same process, but if you don't keep an eye on the cut, then you end up with a batch of whiskey, and in the bottle, it can have a little more of that lighter fluid quality to it. This whiskey generally doesn't do that.
Interesting.
So I have noticed with Old Pulteney over the years, once in a while you'll run into a batch that has that. Well, some people see that as desirable. For me, I run into the beautiful batches that are right smack in the middle of the cut, and it's just a fruit salad experience. But this one's more of a whiskey.
So when you say that that kind of lighter fluid thing that you're talking about, for me there was a split second where, and I'm not a Scotch connoisseur at all, but for me there was a split second, a moment where it was reminiscent of tequila. Is that lighter fluid thing you're talking about?
Maybe, yeah. I could associate that. Yeah.
I can see that. There's a tasting note that I actually get. There's a little bit of
Tequila, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I've smelled lighter fluid. I've really avoided drinking it. So your point well taken.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's got. I mean, it's been a while. It's been a year or so since we had that 21 year that we brought, but it's not quite as it's not as smooth as that. But this definitely goes down easier than a lot of other whiskeys that we try. So it's definitely even when they don't get the cut exactly perfect.
Oh, it doesn't suck,
this is still highly recommended. I think.
The price point is really affordable. It's typically about $30 to $40 even in Washington. So I mean, you can order it in from California for roughly $25 a bottle, including shipping if you know where. So I mean, this is very affordable. Many people will use this as a cocktail whiskey as well.
As opposed to the 21 year, that I'm sure is massively, exponentially higher in
That's about 150 to 200 a bottle. Yeah.
Right. So, Gabe,
good source.
Yeah. Okay. What's your thoughts on Old Pulteney 12?
Now, the 12 year, I've found a lot of 12-year scotches. Yeah, but also at the same time, my voice booms with this mic. So, anyways, with me, I mean, I like a lot of 12-year Scotch whiskeys. This one, I do see the little lighter fluid comment. You made it had a little bit of that weird flavor like right off the bat. But other than that, it's really not a bad whiskey at all, especially for a 12-year. It kind of throws me off, I think, with what you were talking about, with it just having that weird kind of batch flavor, because I did kind of notice that just a little bit. But other than that, I don't see anything wrong with any 12-year Scotch whiskey that I've had. There's really nothing wrong with the majority of them. It takes a lot, I think, to really screw one up. So
now I've been calling Highland the kind of the beginner Scotch. It's if you're new to Scotch, Highland Scotches seem to be a really good Scotch to start. Would you agree on that?
Yeah, in addition to that, though, I'd look at Speyside, which is a and many people like yourself who are bourbon drinkers, right? Arbelor would be your first Scotch of choice, right? And it's just, you kind of look at somebody's flavor profile, and 4 out of 5 people would be Highland, Speyside, anything but Island, which is that, like the ashtray at low tide Scotch, which only 1 in 5 of us really love. So
Ed.
It's an acquired taste.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, all of you guys, would you recommend? Would everyone recommend Old Pulteney 12?
I think personally, this is a pretty darn good Scotch for a 12-year. It's not bad at all. It's got a good flavor profile to it. That batch thing is just it's probably just a one-off, just every once in a while. But that didn't steer me away from this. This is a good 12-year Scotch whiskey. I would drink it again. I got no problem with it.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I've enjoyed it.
Okay.
It's good stuff. I would recommend. This is the sort of thing you're into.
Yeah. I got to say that, like I said, I think I've said this already before, but even with this not necessarily being the greatest cut of the batch, this is still probably on the higher end of whiskeys we've tried. So I'd say Old Pulteney wins again. So this is good.
there's one little thing you could do to get over the bad batch thing is to order one of these once a month for the next 5 months. At the price point, you're going to run into some of the good, better stuff too.
Yeah,
That's very true.
Same deal. And about once a month is about right.
yeah. Okay. Cool. So come on down to Luigi's and please order the Old Pulteney, and then go on to our comment section and let us know what you think of Old Pulteney, and especially if you tried Old Pulteney 12 before. Let us know if you think this is where this batch rates as far as you're concerned. So we look forward to your comments after you come by and try it yourself. And next week, what is the proper pronunciation of that?
Glenmorangie.
Glenmorangie. So next week we're gonna be sampling Glenmorangie, and see you next week. Nerds Drink Whiskey.